We end today talking Everton, and no great surprise after that defeat at the weekend to Norwich that Rafa Benitez was sacked. It was a bizarre appointment to start with. It would only ever work, really, if he was incredibly successful. I mean, sort of top four successful.
To be fair, until Calvert-Lewin got injured, the start of the season, they were getting crosses in. They looked pretty good. You thought, this might be interesting. But once he went down, then it just went backwards and backwards.
Well, was he a bit of a victim of circumstance? Was he unlucky? Where did the club go from here from a managerial and indeed sort of board point of view as well? The relationship with the fans and those upstairs, not stunning at the moment. Dave Johnson from the Falcon Blues Everton Supporters Group joins us. Dave, good afternoon.
Afternoon, gents. Are you all doing okay?
Yeah, we're not too bad, Dave. Let's start with Rafa. As we said, it was a strange appointment to start with. As I said, unless it was incredibly successful, you never felt it was going to work.
No, it was always ending this way. It wasn't even because of the connection to them, because I've been looking at previous managers over the last 10, 15 years, not just at Everton, but overall, and it's always like these managers are now like past their best and their prime is done, and they haven't really moved with the times of how managers act and how teams react and how teams play. And it's shown with 6 points from 39. No manager's going to survive that anyway. But it was just so happened to be Benitez who was the manager in charge of Everton where it happened, I know what you're saying about he basically had to win the fans over instantly, and unfortunately it's not happened, and regrettably we've had to cut our losses and find someone else now.
Yeah,
a lot of people would actually.
Yeah, what's interesting for me is that whenever this happens, Duncan Ferguson comes in, does a tremendous job, and then the new manager comes along and that's it, he gets kept on as assistant manager. Why don't they just give him the job?
We may as well now, because we've gone through everyone else and we've gone through any other decisions, and if by what's going on with the rumours that Roberto Martinez is in the fray for it, just give it to Duncan. Yeah. But with Duncan, it was the same as when he took over after Marco Silva went. There was those 4 games where he got the fans back on board. Everyone was happy. It was actually a decent period for Evertonians, given all the situations we'd had with other managers in play. But he even come out and said he didn't want it. He thought that, I want to hand this over to the next guy. Whether or not because he knew that Carlo Ancelotti was coming in, I don't know. But it almost seems like if he wants it, he should just be given the opportunity to take it now and give him it till the end of the season. Yeah. At the moment, there's who else is there?
Well, the Martinez thing is very strange. I know Evertonians, and they were not massive. They were kind of glad to see him go when he did. The idea of bringing him back, I mean, having made one kind of perverse appointment in a man that won the Champions League with Liverpool. I know you say it doesn't matter, but it all feeds into the issues. And then to give it to a man that's ultimately been at the club and look, did a solid job, but that's about all. I don't think he's going to excite the fan base. It seems a very odd thing for the board to do, having already made one appointment like that, to do a back-to-back one that probably won't play well with most fans.
No, it seems like some sort of sick joke, doesn't it? I mean, especially when I said last time when he was on it, it's either Farhad Moshiri either doesn't have a clue what the fans want, or is engaged with the fans, or he just doesn't care. And he's just happy to get a stadium, and once a stadium's built, he'll move on. But you know what I mean? It's almost like he's looking for the quick fix, and as quick fix as to go, okay, well, what do I know? What do I know? I said, well, this is the same fella who leaked 140 goals in 3 seasons. Yeah, he got us to the semi-finals of the cup and whatever, but that was about it. At the same time, there was protests at Goodison to get him out. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, and he tried to sue the club for 10 million after he was let go. So it's sort of like, well, do you even look back at what happened over the last 6 years with him?
Yeah.
And for them to make this kind of decision and go, okay, Roberto Martinez is the one. He's done nothing else, even with one of the best Belgian sides that we've seen, this golden generation of a Belgian team, and he's done not enough with them either.
No, he hasn't.
You know, so you know, there's no, it doesn't seem like he's changed.
What about Wayne Rooney, who's doing pretty well at Derby? What do you feel about that?
I was just saying to Jamie just off air then, he's got no expectations at Derby at the moment. Yet they've had the 21 points deducted and he's doing a fantastic job. But every game's a free hit.
Yeah.
You know, he's been given, you know, every game. It's like, well, I've got no expectations, win or lose. I'm just doing what I've got to do to keep them in the league. And if he does it, then he's doing a fantastic job. No disrespect to Wayne there, but again, I think always in the background, much like with Benitez, there's going to be that. Well, he disappeared to Man United. You know, if Everton start doing particularly well, is he just got to up and go to the next club and stuff like that? It's always going to be that lingering doubt in the back of your mind. Yeah. But Wayne at the moment is doing a fantastic job at Derby. There's no doubt about that. But I also think that at the moment there's no real pressure on him. Which coming to Everton, you're immediately going to have the pressure on you.
Yeah.
And
you're right. I think that's probably why Duncan is a safe pair of hands for a period of time, a sort of period of transition like this. It'll get the fans back on side. I mean, some of the other names been mentioned. I don't think Wayne's got the badges as yet to manage in the Premier League anyway, so they'll have to find a way around that. But some of the other names have come up. Graham Potter said he's not going anywhere. Frank Lampard's an interesting one, Dave. What would you make of that?
He's my choice.
Okay.
Personally, I'd be in for Lampard, definitely. You know, he was hamstrung with Chelsea during that period where he just couldn't sign anyone, but he made the most of what he had, and integrating the youth team into the Chelsea side, and he's even had to cut his teeth at Derby County as well before that to learn his trade. And I think he's had a bit more experience and he's a bit more on than Wayne. With that opportunity, okay, well, I've done the Premier League, I've been in the Europa League, I've been in the Champions League with Chelsea. And this is an opportunity for him to go, okay, you're brand new to this club, you've got no affiliation with them, you just go and make this club how you want it. And then it's all about the club working around the manager rather than trying to dictate things for the manager. If whatever the manager wants, give the manager what he needs. And it goes back now to, well, what does the board want to do?
Yeah.
Because if Fahad Mashiri and the board and everything else are still making all these decisions on transfers, getting rid of, director of football and things like that, that needs to stop for any kind of proper manager to come in. So we could have Duncan in for the interim, which I could easily see for the next 5 or 6 games while we play all the clubs around us, to bring in someone like Frank Lampard or a brand new face who's not had he's not been tainted by Everton, should we say?
Yeah.
And just give them that opportunity to say, okay, run with Everton. You run it how you want, and we will give you the backing what we need. If we can give you the finances, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And we won't interfere.
Dave, sorry, Dave, we're out of time. We're going to have to head off to the news and sport. But good to talk to you. Interesting to get your thoughts. Thanks very much for joining us.